everybody. Daniel Feuerstein here for Beyond the 90 as we're going to review the second day in the fourth round of the 2025 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. We will also preview that fifth round matches that's going to be played on Tuesday, May the 20th and Wednesday, May the 21st. We all thought with these 11 matches, we're going to get some cup sets, and unfortunately, only one out of the 11 did happen. There were some matches where we thought it was going to be good, and we also had some matches that were a couple of snoozers, unfortunately. But all you can say is plenty of action, plenty of goals, excitement, where you thought a cup set would happen in extra time, and it didn't happen in extra time as the MLS side advanced. Then there was one match that went to the penalty kick shootout, and we thought cup set city there, but unfortunately, the MLS club advanced out of that as well. So here we go, reviewing these 11 matches of Day 2 of the 2025 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup fourth round. We go to Steel City, Western Pennsylvania, as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds took on New York City FC. Now, I have to admit, this wasn't a great one. A lot of back and forth, tons of misses, terrible moments, and you're thinking to yourself, this is going to extra time, isn't it? And it's going to be scoreless going into extra time. But unfortunately for New York City FC, they went down a man, as it would be Strahinja Tanasejevic. He gets a straight red card in the 79th minute. And for New York City FC, they are down to 10 men the rest of the way. Now, you can make an argument where, yeah, last man, obviously, the ball did bounce on the turf, but Tanasejevic, he did grab his man, and I thought, look, it wasn't that egregious. He did bring him down. The way the ball bounced, I thought it should have been a yellow card, but instead it was last man. The straight red card came out, and once again, New York City FC down to 10 men. 5 minutes of 5 minutes of second half stoppage time popped up, and towards the back end of it, we're all thinking this is going to go to extra time, but not so. They get a corner, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and it was along the far side, and as the ball was bending towards the area, it would be Roberto Urdac. He buries that ball with his header inside the far post, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds cup sets New York City FC by a final of 1-0. The only cup set in round 4. Now we go to Eastern Pennsylvania as the Philadelphia Union hosted USL's championship side, Indy 11. And for Indy 11, they pushed the Union to the penalty kick shootout. It was 1-0 for the Union. Alejandro Bedoya scored the opening goal in the 6th minute, and it was a lead going into halftime. And many thought this was going to be it. The Union would get their goal. They're going to cruise through the 90 minutes, but not so. It would be Elvis Amoa in the 49th minute equalizing for Indy 11, and it's 1-1 throughout regulation and throughout extra time. And then we go into the shootout. Indy 11 would shoot first. The Union would shoot second. It was level terms in the penalty kick shootout, going 2-2. And then in the third round, it would be Adnan Quinn, and he gets stopped by Andrew Rick in that third round. The Union would convert in the third round to make it 3-2. Both sides would make their penalties. But that final penalty for the Union by Jovan Lukic, he converts it, and the Union win it in penalties 5-4 after going 1-1 through regulation and extra time. Then we get to the New England Derby, the New England region, the third and final derby between two New England sides, USL Championships, Rhode Island FC, the defending Eastern Conference champions, taking on the New England Revolution. And at Centerville Bank Stadium, we had a lot of action there in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It would be the Revolution that scored first. Thomas Chunkalai, finally back healthy and fit, ready to go, scores the opening goal of the match. and that was in the 38th minute. And then as we move on into halftime, the Revolution held on to that lead. Then at the start of the second half, 5 minutes in, Maxi Rodriguez would score the equalizer and the first ever goal in the stadium for the home side as Rhode Island FC equalizes in the 50th minute. But unfortunately, Cristiano Oliveira, he gets the match winner in the 88th minute as the ball was being crossed from the far side. It hits the front of the post and out. But Oliveira, finding the way to bury the rebound, does so, and the New England Revolution, they get the winner, and they win the battle of the New England clubs of professional soccer, and they take it by a final of 2-1. This New England region, filled with great rivalries now, Hartford Athletic, Rhode Island FC of USL Championship, in Portland, Maine, the Portland Hearts of Pine in USL League One, and the New England Revolution of MLS. I'm expecting more in the following years of US Open Cup action, and it should be fun and exciting, and I can't wait. And even if Vermont Green does qualify for the Open Cup again, that would be even more special. I wish the New Hampshire Phantoms were around. Who knows? Maybe Western Mass Pioneers, if they qualify out of PDL, or USL League 2, I should say. Hopefully they'll join the party. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, we had some great freaking matches from the New England region in the U.S. Open Cup. We move on now to the state of Florida, where the Tampa Bay Rowdies of USL Championship were hosting Orlando City of MLS at Al Lang Stadium. And unfortunately for the Rowdies, they were pummeled. They were destroyed. They were absolutely taken to the woodshed, and Orlando City destroyed them 5-0. A brace from Gustavo Caraballo. His first goal was in the 36th minute, and the second one in the 38th minute. And then the third goal in the first half came in the 42nd minute by Ramiro Enrique. 2 more goals were scored in the second half. The fourth one by Duncan McGuire. And then the last one in the 90th minute by Dagur Thorharlsson. And that would be it for Tampa Bay. The Rowdies sadly exit the Open Cup on a whimper as Orlando City destroyed them by a final of 5-0. Then we head on over to the Gateway City, that's St. Louis City, as they took on Union Omaha of USL League One, the defending USL League One champions. And unfortunately for St. Louis, I shouldn't say for St. Louis, but unfortunately for Union Omaha, St. Louis City beats them by a final of 2-0 after a scoreless first half. St. Louis gets a first goal from Joey Solinksy, and that was scored in the 62nd minute. And then it would be João Klaus. He gets the second goal of the match. And that would be it. That was in the 87th minute. St. Louis City 2, Union Omaha 0. And then we head on over to Kentucky as Louisville City hosted Minnesota United FC at Lynn Family Stadium. And the truth is, Louisville City, they were the better side. But it would be Minnesota United FC to edge Louisville City, as it was Darius Randall, 1-0. 65th minute, and he puts it in the back of the net. And that is all Minnesota United needed to move on to the 5th round. Next matchup, we have another snoozer, Chicago Fire of MLS taking on Detroit City FC in the 4th round. And unfortunately for Detroit City, they get taken to the woodshed by a final of 4-0. Hugo Kuipers scores early in the 4th minute to make it 1-0. Unfortunately for Detroit City, it was their own man, Darren Smith, who converted an own goal by mistake, of course, in the 30th minute. That gave Chicago the 2-0 lead, and then it was all over but the shouting. Omari Glasgow in the 50th minute made 3-0 for Chicago. And then finally, it would be Marin Hali Selassie in the 71st minute to give the Chicago Fire a 4-0 victory. Now we go down to the state of Texas, where FC Dallas was hosting USL League One's AV Alta FC it would be Luciano Acosta in the 3rd minute to give FC Dallas that 1-0 lead. But then out of nowhere, a fantastic goal from AV Alta's Osvaldo Ley. He scores 5 yards behind the midfield stripe, catches the keeper well off his line. The ball gently bounces in front of the keeper over him and then rolls harmfully into the back of the net. And we're thinking AV Alta is back in it. But unfortunately, in the 43rd minute, Kasich, he gets that goal to make it 2-1 for FC Dallas. And as AV Alta tried to get that second equalizer, it was not so. Bernard Kamungo, 71st minute, as FC Dallas takes the tie and wins it by a final of 3-1. In the other Texas matchup, this Texas derby, Austin FC of MLS hosting El Paso Locomotive of USL Championship, and El Paso had a lead. They had a brace from Roberto Avila in the 20th minute and his second one in the 34th minute. And it really looked like El Paso Locomotive was going to get the cup set. I really thought they were on cruise control. They looked strong. They had Austin FC right where they wanted them. And I really thought we're going to get our second cup set of the night. And unfortunately, not so. 3 goals in the span of 7 minutes. Brandon Vazquez with the brace. He gets the first one in the 73rd minute and the second one in the 80th minute. But in between, it would be Mirto Uzuni, and he gets the equalizer in the 76th minute. And Austin FC saves themselves and puts their club into the 5th round. Once again, the final score, Austin FC 3, El Paso Locomotive 2 at the Q2 Stadium in the capital of Texas. Phoenix Rising hosting the Houston Dynamo. And this one looked pretty darn good. Great action from both clubs. Phoenix Rising were down 1-0 as DeAndrade Vieira scored the first goal in the 17th minute, but then Phoenix gets a penalty in first half stoppage time. Darius Formella converts it, and that made it 1-1 into the halftime whistle. Nothing in the second half of regulation, and then on to extra time we go. And I really did thought maybe Phoenix was going to pull it and push it to another gear, and unfortunately, they did not. The Houston Dynamo did. Fantastic goal. Golazo from Jack McGlynn in the 99th minute on the outside of Phoenix's area along the near side. Rainbow, big, bending banger. Into the upper far 90. Houston with the lead and the first half of extra time to make it 2-1. And then it was all over but the shouting in the second half of extra time. Ezequiel Ponce in the 112th minute. And then 3 minutes later, Sebastian Kowalski ends it for Phoenix Rising as the Houston Dynamo take it 4-1. And finally, in California, San Jose Earthquakes hosting Sacramento Republic of USL Championship. And it was all the Earthquakes as they would win this one by a final of 2-1. Amal Pellegrino scores the opening goal in the 2nd minute, and then Preston Judd with a hell of a pass given to him, and he buried it side foot midair. 44th minute, 2-0 for the Earthquakes. Now, Sacramento does pull one back inside second half stoppage time, but unfortunately, on the back end of stoppage time, about 5 or 6 minutes worth, Trevor Amann converts it, and unfortunately for Sacramento, just not enough time left to at least force the issue. They fall to the San Jose Earthquakes. They win it once again by a final of 2-1 over Sacramento Republic. Now, unfortunately for Jamar Ricketts, he gets sent off with a red card, straight red card in the 83rd minute. He had his man and AJ Edwards grabbed his shirt from behind, was pulling on it while trying to defend him from behind, and then he tackled him from behind. Now, if he didn't tackle him down, that would have been basically a yellow card. But because he grabbed him from the back of the jersey and tackled him from behind, it's a red card. No arguments there. And unfortunately for him, he will be suspended for the 5th round matchup in the U.S. Open Cup. And now we have our schedule set for the 5th round of the 2025 U.S. Open Cup. And here is the schedule. A light one for Tuesday, May the 20th. The New England Revolution will be hosting the Chicago Fire at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that will be on CBS Sports Golazo Network. And the nightcap, San Jose Earthquakes will be hosting the Portland Timbers at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, CBS Sports Net, and as well, both matches also on Paramount Plus streaming. The full slate on Wednesday, May the 21st. 5 matches at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The New York Red Bulls will host FC Dallas, and that will be at Sports Illustrated Stadium on CBS Sports Network. The rest only on Paramount Plus. The Keystone Derby. The Philadelphia Union hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. DC United hosting Charlotte FC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Orlando City versus Nashville SC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Minnesota United FC versus St. Louis City SC, 7:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Central. And finally, Austin FC hosting the Houston Dynamo, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. The rest of the matches and all 5th round matches will be on Paramount Plus streaming. Once again, CBS Sports Golazo Network for Tuesday, May the 20th, between the Revolution and the Fire. CBS Sports Net between the Earthquakes and the Timbers on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, the New York Red Bulls and FC Dallas, Wednesday on CBS Sports Network. And I'm going to bet you we will get the Golazo show back for a whip around show for those 7:30 matchups. This is exciting. This is a lot of fun. Get ready as we will have great action. Once again, Tuesday, May the 20th, Wednesday, May the 21st, the 5th round of the U.S. Open Cup 2025 edition. Join myself and Carter Krishnaiyer along with our other writers like Alex Ashton, Jonathan Starling, Brett Mullenix, The Villain and the Rooster, and many other talented writers that we have here at Beyond the 90 over at beyondthe90.substack.com. You can watch this video here on our website or on our YouTube page. You want to listen to this on a podcast form, you can either come once again to Beyond the 90, or you can go to our podcast platforms on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Once again, my name is Daniel Feuerstein here at Beyond the 90. Thank you very much for watching this video or listening to this podcast. Hope to talk to you all again soon, and welcome once again to Beyond the 90. Have a good evening. Take care. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.